Even the S&Ps had a mixed session after Friday's big move lower. We actually saw the overnight trade CE-minis rally to start the day, but then reverse lower again. Traded below 6,000 at one point this afternoon. First time we've seen that since early February, but did manage to close at 6,020. Now, a couple of things here. Obviously, we still have some earnings coming out, but the numbers today from the Dallas Fed suggested that price components remain elevated. That means inflation, something we saw also in the Empire Manufacturing and in the Philly Fed index as well, continuing to put pressure on the Fed as rate cut odds, while they still remain elevated. Likely the Fed will have some explaining to do given the fact that inflation remains as high as it does. Again, that pushed equities lower on the day, closing at 6,020, slightly lower, but well off session lows. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, looking at volatility, it moves inversely to the indices. So early in the session, we saw volatility moving lower after pushing higher on Friday. So opened lower, but then spent most of the session moving higher, getting above a critical level of 20 in the VIX index for the first time in about 3 weeks. But ultimately, seeing volatility nudge higher on the session as prices were lower on the day. Lastly, let's talk about what we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We get the Philly Fed non-manufacturing index. We do get some home price numbers. Again, more earnings led by retailers like Home Depot. And then we'll get more Fed speakers on the tape. We didn't have any of those today. So ultimately, Fed speakers will look to kind of give the market a little bit of direction, given the fact that we have heard from the Fed chair recently. We did get those January FOMC minutes recently, but ultimately, inflation does remain sticky high, and the Fed speakers will likely be out and about trying to talk about that. So opening up the week, we see equities take a little bit of a move higher before moving lower, closing down slightly on the day at 6,020 ahead of tomorrow's Philly Fed, home prices, earnings, and more Fed speakers.